Well, good morning to each of you. I'm Pastor Derek Scobie. I'm the teaching pastor here at First Baptist McKinney and the minister of multicultural engagement. And today, what we're doing through the month of February, we're going to celebrate Black History Month. And each week, what we're going to do is highlight just someone here in the community that's just done some phenomenal things. And that's what we're doing on this morning. So this morning, we're doing a short interview with Coach Leonard Evans.
My name is Leonard Evans, Jr. I was born in McKinney in 1924. I've been here for a while, 88 years. I think my grandfather said that it was nearly 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It was nearly 3 years before he was actually free and was able to go where he wanted to go. In other words, he said the president signed the proclamation, and 3 years later, the word finally got to Texas that blacks were free, and then they were able to get out and move around. McKinney always been racially balanced. In other words, we didn't have, even when I got out of college, 52, when I first started, moved back to McKinney, I found out that McKinney was way ahead of most southern towns. We didn't have the kind of problems that people were having in other places. I was segregated as far as where I lived, but not, I couldn't go a lot. I couldn't eat at the cafe like everybody else, but I could eat in the back. We had a cafe on Tennessee Street, I believe. Yeah, it was Tennessee Street. Best food in the world. Always good food. But I'd always have to go to the back. And in the back, people laugh at me and say, Leonard, why do you like to go up there and eat? See, you know you can't go in the front. I said, no, I can't go in the front, but I'm eating out of the same pot. I look back at it now and say, well, you had to go to the back. I didn't have to go. But I went because I liked the food that they were serving, and I didn't mind it. That's the big thing, I guess. I didn't mind going to the back. I would mind it now. I was always interested in education. Wasn't the smartest person in the world, but I wanted to be. I tried hard. I worked a little harder than most because I had to. I started at Douglas School in the first grade and went to as high as, I went to the 10th grade, and they built a new school. They tore Douglas School down, and I finished at the present Doty High School. It's Holy Family, I believe now. And finished in 1942, right after Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 41. So in 42, I was at the school. 41, I was at the school when they bombed Pearl Harbor. I finished in May in 42, and they picked me right up and carried me to the Army. So my education was quick, fast and quick. I learned as much as I can, as quickly as I can. When I got to the war, the little education that I had, my high school education, evidently proved to be pretty decent. When I got back, the first thing I did, I applied to go to college, and Texas College was the only college that would take me. Now, Texas College is a little black college in Tyler, Texas. While in college, I tried my best to learn everything that I could about everything that I could. I was good in math, but when I wanted to be a coach, and most coaches were taught PE. So I said, I better get to PE because that's where the coaches are, and that's exactly what I want to be. I want to coach.
If I'm not mistaken, you were the first African-American teacher to integrate the schools as a teacher, or something to that degree.
I was the first black man to to enter McKinney schools for teaching math or teaching anything. I think I went in as a PE teacher. And the superintendent told the head principal to call for me to come to the office. So Reuben Johnson was the head principal. So Reuben said, Leonard said, you're gonna have to go over and talk to Dr. Harper. I said, for what? I said, am I fired? He said, no. He said, you need to go talk to him. So I got in my car, went over to Dr. Harper's office, and Dr. Harper was a tall, good-looking, curly-haired white boy that he ran the school just like it was his, not like he was hired. He said, Evans, you're going to integrate schools Monday. Integrate? He said, yes. I said, well, where am I going? Tell me what to do. He said, well, what do you have any questions? I said, I might have 2 or 3. Do I have time to tell you before? He said, yes. He said, I said, what do I have to do to integrate schools? He said, all you have to do is show up. So as we were going to Fannie Finch School, there were hundreds of people. During that time, they were burning black folks' cars and turning them over. And so when we started down there, I looked and I saw all these people. So I told my wife, I said, sure there's a lot of people here starting for a school day. I said, why are they all standing up? Well, they were out of their cars and standing around the roadway. She said, oh, do you still want to go? I said, yeah. I said, we can't turn around here. I got to the door. I opened the door, and when I stepped in the back door of the Fannie Finch School, the side door, they had a long table, longest from here to the end of this place, set with all kind of food. And they had a great big old sign that says, welcome, Coach Evans. Man, I said, this is a whole lot different from what I had other side of this door to now. That was a tough thing for me to get out of that car and go through all the people. I walked through 2 or 3 of them, and when I walked in the school building, the people in the school, the teachers and the parents that were in that school, they didn't know that this problem was happening outside. They didn't know all them people were ganged up out there, but they were ganged up. And as soon as I stepped in the door, and they started feeding me, and they all welcoming me. The president of the school board gave me a little old speech, and she gave me a present for being the first black to teach in that particular school. And I made friends with all of the students, and when I left there, they wanted me to stay, because I was the same thing that I had promised myself I was going to be all while I was teaching, is try my best to be good to everybody, be the same to everybody, and be fair to everybody. So they scared me for a while, but when I walked in that door, I wasn't afraid anymore.
Coach, tell us about you being the first African-American to serve on the McKinney School Board, if I'm not mistaken.
When Dean Pratt came for me and said, Evans said, I've gone around all of the white and all the black and all the Hispanic people who live in this town and asked them, what would they have against you being on the school board? They all love you. So they want you to be on the school board, and we need a black person on the board. We got to have, we're going to start District 1, District 2, District 3, and we got a white person that's living in El Dorado is representing your people down here. So that's not right. He said, I want you to be the first black to be on the school board. I said, well, Dean, I tell you what, there are any number of black people who would enjoy being on the school board. Get some of them, don't get me, because I don't want to be on the school board. Dean Pratt make up his mind to do something, he gonna do it. Dean Pratt, he ended up, he said, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell the superintendent that come up and talk to him Tuesday at 5 o'clock. He said, I said, well, okay, when I go up there, I'll tell him that I'm not going to be on the school board. At Tuesday, I walked in that door, and every school board member they had was there. And I looked around. I knew them all, because I'd been here longer than they. I knew them all. I said, why y'all send for me here? And the superintendent said, well, Leonard, I tell you what, have a seat. We have been talking to other people about you, and we want you to represent your people, that's where they put it, on the school board. You need representation. Your neighborhood needs representation, and you could do a good job doing it. I said, well, I really don't want to be on the school board. I don't know what I could do to help. He said, we know what you can do to help. You just said you'll be on the board. We'll swear you in tonight. God, that was quick. That's railroading me. That night when they had school board meeting, I was on the board.
How did it make you feel, or how does it make you feel, as an African American, to have a school in McKinney, Texas, named after you?
Very proud. And it made me feel very proud because the people of the black in McKinney are very proud. The kiddos that I taught, black and white, are proud. And every time I see any of them, they'll tell me how proud that I taught them, and they named the school after me. I got a son and a daughter that works at McKinney Courthouse. They are proud that I'm their father, and they can tell and say, I saw a school, Leonard Evans Junior Middle School. Is that person any kin to you? And for them to say, that make me feel good. That my daughter and my son, they are proud of me. And that's good. Most of the people in this church I know, if they've been here more than 10 years. Now, the people who are moving in, I don't know, and they don't know me. Or they might know of me, but they don't know me. But most of the people here, the older people I know, and I'm very proud of this particular church for taking time to help this preacher, because I'm crazy about him. If I had my way, and I don't have my way, when they bury me, I'd like for them to have the funeral at this church. Because at this church, I believe if my funeral was at this church, y'all would fill it up. And it wouldn't be all white, it wouldn't be all black, it'd be everybody.
In this county and even state, we're just so very thankful and grateful for you.
Well,
I love you.
I thank you very kindly.